than it is dog, right? So, like he's more a pack member. He hates being separated. If I walk away from him for 2 seconds, he'll start howling, So it's just, but that's the mentality, and most people would get annoyed with that, and he's got a keen sniffer, right? So he will find any bit of anything that is floating around that, that he wants, to chew on or sniff and now he's, I don't know, he's able to reach the table and just, and he's still a puppy. And so, he's not even a year yet, and he's still able to, do all this stuff. And, he's a little bit of a hellion. But the thing is animals like that also need to be worked. Like, you need to exercise them, and you can't just leave them in your house and not expect the wolf to destroy the place. So, because they're not your ordinary dog. And so that's why they need an owner that is really going to be a pack member. And, the thing is I always think that we should get out of calling our pets pets, really, and I think we should just call them companions, because there's somebody that we're sharing our life with.
It's true. I call them my kids.
Yeah, and not something that we exert ownership over. We care for them, but, and we provide care, and but not unlike, a mother does to a child, or a father does to a child, and but at some level they're equal to us. And I think, yes, granted, if you don't make a dog equal to you, because then you have to actually be able to have some type of authority position over them so that they respect you. But gaining respect isn't about beating the dog when it's a puppy. It's about loving it and caring for it and knowing and providing for it. Just like, you don't gain the respect of your children by beating them.
Oh God,
So it's the same thing. And a lot of people, their initial thing is to yell at the animal, and that, first off, they don't know what the heck you're saying to them. Number one, they just know, they sense anger, they sense your energy, they sense that kind of stuff. And they, and because that's what they're susceptible to. They don't know, you're not barking at them. It's not like you're talking their language, and you're not communicating in your mind anything to them. So the fact is that you have to, look at them and realize that they're sensitive to your anger. And if you're angry, you could see your dog will back away, or your cats will scatter. It's not like they give you space, because that's what the energy that you're commanding. And so a lot of people get frustrated even in the training period, like when they're training a puppy, because dogs are a little bit harder to train, and nobody really has to train a cat. They just sort of learn the litter box. But, so it's interesting, I think, with, puppies and all that stuff. But, and some are more communicators, and so I think people need to realize what type of animal really fits their lifestyle, because a lot of times people get the horse that doesn't really match, their energy level, and it's not go buy the first thing because it's available. Go and see a litter and figure out what puppy you're connected to, or what it is that you really are looking for. And if you're sensitive, you'll know if it's the right one.
I let them choose me. Choose me. I go in there and, with all the cats, except for this one that he chose us, of course, but I sit in there and I let the animal come to me. I don't call any of them, and I've pretty much been like that since I was 25. I just they'll know if I'm right for them. I let them make the choice, because in a lot of ways, animals are smarter than humans, in my own personal opinion.
Well, yeah, because they are, and they're sensitive to energy, and it matters if the animal likes your energy. And if the animal feels safe with you, they're more going to gravitate towards you, especially if you're rescuing, because they don't really feel safe for anybody. And they're being involved in, like if you're going to a rescue versus the SPCA or whatever. I've gone into the SPCA. What a racket that is. But besides that point, you know, there's it's just mass chaos. You know, like you have all the mixing of energy. Dogs that really shouldn't be together are together. You know, or at least housed close together. And I think that that's the other thing. I think to have multiple pets is I think it's important to be able to, you know, bring certain things that maybe, like if you're going to get a dog, for example. Obviously, I'm a dog person.
I love dogs too. I grew up with them all my life, but you know,
I don't mind cats. Like, cats, you know, for me, they're just like they all love me, but I'm not a cat person. You know, I'll talk to cats.
You know,
cats gravitate towards me. I just am not, like, I'll cuddle with them if I have a cat. You know, or they'll fall asleep with me, or I'll fall asleep on them. You know, but it's bizarre to me. I've just never really found the connection like I do with a dog. And that maybe it's because of dogs, well, at least the size dogs that I'm talking about, you could do stuff with. You know, you could go on hikes with, you could take them on vacation, go swimming with them. You can't do any of that stuff with a cat. You know, and so for me, you know, they're a little more nonsensical for me.
not as high maintenance. I think that's where the appeal for some people. You know, dogs are a little more, needy, I guess. It's probably not the right choice of words, but yeah, I love both. I'm very drawn to both, and even as a kid, when I was a kid, William, my mother asked me, what can I do to make you feel better? Well, I want a wolf. That was always what I would tell her, or a dragon. No, I was 6. I thought either a wolf or a dragon. She goes, I can't provide neither of those. One's a mythical creature, and the other one's impossible. How do you know that a dragon is a mythical creature?
Yeah, well, you know, and you know, and all myths have basis in reality.
Exactly.
So dragons still exist, just in a different dimension, and sometimes after our dimension. I mean, there's no. The thing is we're in an. This is what I find fascinating with the world: is people are selective with what they believe in the paranormal. Like people will say, "Well, I believe in Bigfoot, but I don't know about Loch Ness." Or I believe in, you know, this, but I believe in Loch Ness, but I don't necessarily know if I believe in fairies. Or I don't know if I believe in angels. And first off, these things don't need you to believe in them. But I find it interesting that they're very selective, you know, and I think that if say the paranormal exists, then all of it exists. And when you look at fairy tales and stories, even stories of dragons, since you brought it up, every continent, you know, every continent has a story of a dragon. They have the concept of a dragon, and they're all very similar. Some fly, some swim, some do whatever. You know, the face is all very similar. So then you have to think, okay, like, here's these continents that aren't touching. They're not touching. Nobody really talks from one continent to the other at the time that all these things were being talked about. And yet, here are these very real, descriptive images of what a dragon is. So, you know, and so you have to think, okay, just logically, this creature must have existed. Whether it did everything that everybody believes that it did, you know, that's different. You know, but like, we don't know really everything, all the dinosaurs that existed. And so how far-fetched would it be a dragon was similar to a dinosaur? God knows they have similar features.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. You know, I have to say, an hour went by awfully quick, and I'm almost out of time, William, and I would love to have you on as a guest in the near future. But I do know that you're running a little special solely for my listeners, and before we get off air, can we touch on that for just a minute?
Yeah. So basically, I'm doing 30-minute animal intuitive reading, which is usually 85, and I'm doing it for 50. And then the hour session is usually 125, and I brought it down to 90, just for your listeners that are tuning in tonight or hear the podcast to
That's so sweet of you. That's so sweet. And we have a lot of people in the chat room tonight. It's a really awesome turnout, and I'm really happy. William, you've been an awesome guest, and I wish you luck in the future. And I may be one of your neighbors in the very near future, as I am relocating to New Mexico soon. So,
well, that's good. I'm more like a gypsy. So if I'm here when you get here, great. But yeah, and you know, that's the other thing is there's a link that you have to link to my website, but you know, because I'm in the process of probably forming a psychic cruise. There's a lot of different things, like we're working an island hop around Hawaii. So there's a lot of cool things happening in the future, possible production opportunities, and
awesome.
You know,
well, you'll have to come back on again in a few months from now and fill me in on all the new stuff and any kind of promotions you need via radio. Do not hesitate to call upon me, my friend, okay?
all right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Light and love to you, William, and we will be in touch. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Awesome guest. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.